Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new sustainability interview brought to you by the World Sustainability Organization and Friend of the Sea. Our special guest today is Dan Wiley, president of Oceanblue. The company, a division of AD Pharma, is based in Florida, USA. And from 2019, its omega-3 supplements are Friend of the Sea certified with raw materials sourced mainly from certified sustainable fisheries in Peru, Morocco. These are anchovies fisheries. So let me welcome Dan. Dan, great to have you here with us.
Yeah, Paolo, thank you for the opportunity. Really
It's a
great
pleasure.
to talk to you about fishery sustainability.
Friend of the Sea and Friend of the Earth are two major certifications for sustainable products and services. They also represent a group of conservation initiatives for endangered species and habitats. So when you buy a Friend of the Sea or Friend of the Earth product, you are sure it is produced in a sustainable way. You are also supporting conservation. The interviews we propose on this channel help you learn about companies producing in a more sustainable way. And we hope and we're sure that they will motivate you to follow their approach and also live and work sustainably. So please remember to subscribe to our channel to be alerted about new interviews and videos, and also to like if you found this video interesting. Let me welcome Dan. Dan, great to have you here with us.
Yeah, Paolo, thank you for the opportunity. Really
It's a
great to
pleasure.
talk to you about fishery sustainability. So
Wonderful. So can you tell me a bit more about Oceanblue, when it was started and what products towards which markets?
yeah, so we're Oceanblue is a consumer dietary supplement company. So we produce food supplements that contain high concentrate of omega-3s for human nutrition. That's kind of the small world that we work in. We've been around since the early or late 2000s, and our product has been sold in the United States for I don't know about 10 or 15 years. We did make the change in 2019 to include the Friend of the Sea sustainability certification on our package, and yeah, just proud to support it. We are part of the Katie Pharma Group, which today is the largest producer of omega-3 ingredients in the world, and that includes both pharmaceutical ingredients that support products like Loveza or Vesipa, and also a host of natural fish oils from Peruvian anchoveta and concentrates and really everything in between. Really proud to be here to represent Oceanblue and the Katie Pharma Group.
Wow, congratulations. Really a great company. And what does sustainability mean in the nutraceutical products sector nowadays? Have you noticed the awareness growing, and in which areas?
Yeah, well, sustainability is really like a pay to play. I think it's become a necessity for what we have is something that's being extracted from the environment. Okay, so we're fishing, and I think fishing to most people on the street sounds like, oh, this is a dirty industry, or it's bad, and I think that uh, it really can be done in a very um, planet friendly and sustainable manner. So essentially, sustainability to me means like that we can continue supplying these high quality omega-3s for years to come. Um, we don't have to worry about supply shocks. We're managing the resource correctly, and um, because people around the world need this nutritional source of omega-3s. So how can we keep doing this for a long time?
And what is your company doing to reduce its environmental and social potential social impact? And what's the importance of certifications such as Friend of the Sea?
I mean, obviously we're using the Friend of the Sea certified fish oils because we want to make sure that we're only sourcing from responsibly managed fisheries. And I think going into fishery sustainability is kind of a pet topic of mine. I very passionate about it. We used to think that, I think centuries ago, plenty of fish in the ocean, right? And with the advent of industrialized fishing, we found that we can vacuum up fish out of the ocean faster than they can be replenished. And so, we participate as a company, as a Katie Pharma Group company, in just making sure that when we're sourcing raw materials, that we're sourcing them from reputable partners that are friend of the sea certified. We put that on our raw material ingredient specifications. We make sure that's part of our sourcing requirement. So we're forcing that at the primary processor or seafood producer level. And that's really, it goes back to, we want to make sure that there's more fish in the ocean. So there's we don't want companies to be incentivized to do fishing at a higher catch, higher than the maximum sustainable yield than the fishery can actually support. Yeah, there's a whole aspect of cultural sustainability around fishermen, for Peru and for Morocco. Being a fisherman is an important cultural aspect. We want to make sure that is something that continues for another millennia. People have been fishing for millennia.
Dan, for our viewers, the Peruvian anchoveta fishery, while it's the main fishery worldwide, producing about 5% of the total catch captured in all the oceans, it is considered one of the most sustainable. It went through a period of crisis, as you know, in the late 70s and 80s, because the management at that time was not so wise, and also because of natural environmental changes, El Nino, etc., which collapsed basically the catches. And since then, Peru, the Peruvian authorities, the companies have learned a lot from this past experience and have introduced very strict parameters to regulate the fishery without allowing the biomass to go lower than the maximal sustainable yield biomass levels, to stay far away from that edge, let's say. And so they have introduced very strict precautional parameters, and which are considered also by some universities, etc., that have analyzed that as the best fishery management parameters. On top of that, the companies have also promoted the creation of marine protected areas to protect those seabirds which feed out of the anchovy and which live on these islands which are in front of the Peruvian coastline. And at the same time, they have been certified for their social responsibility, and they contribute a lot to the local communities. Another important aspect to consider is the fishing method. They use purse-seiners, which basically target the mono species stock or school of fish, which means that very rarely there are bicaught species in the catch. And this means that it's very selective and can better control its impact on the external ecosystem. So all in all, it's a great origin, and over the years they've also improved the processing, so there's less used and the catches have been reduced while still satisfying the omega-3, aquaculture, and other feed industries globally. So really, that should be considered, and your efforts to source from the Friend of the Sea certified fleets and operators and processors is really very beneficial in general for the planet. We are glad
Yeah.
to have you among the certified omega-3 producers.
Well, I mean, we're doing it because it's the right thing to do, but I mean, it's also our customers require it. I mean, our customers demand that our products be sustainable, because I think many people don't really understand where the food or the products that they eat come from. And the more that we can just shed light on the fact that, hey, this source, no matter what you may have preconceived notions about, or you may have heard about, it is actually, like, as you said, very sustainably well managed, with low bycatch, and with strict controls by the governing authorities. And so, yeah, we're proud to have that. Some of the other things that we do for environmental impact is, it's one thing to catch the fish from a sustainability minded, with catch limits and quotas, and all the things that make sure that we're not catching more fish than can be renewed in the ocean. But at every step of the process, when we take crude fish oil into our plants, we have, now, with our recent merger with DSM for the acquisition of the lipids business there, we have a plant in Peru, and that is a plant that we're taking crude fish oil from the fishing companies and processing that to make a human supplement, food grade oil. So it comes in, it's cleansed, it's purified, it's reduced in pollutants and any contaminants, and through those manufacturing processes, you invariably lose a little bit of the fish oil at each step of the way. And so, it's maybe good business sense, but it's also a stewardship, a responsibility, that we want to make sure that, there's only so many omega-3s in the ocean, and there's only so many omega-3s that we can get. So we want to make sure that we're being good stewards of that important resource that comes in, and that every step along the way, when we carve off a little bit, that we're thinking, how do we find a better use for this? How do we find a higher use for this? In some cases, we might send some of the fractions to go for biofuels. We might send them to be, when we convert the raw fish oil into what's called an ethyl ester form, we generate a side fraction called glycerol. Many cases, that is used to then go power biogas. So, a methane producing factory that would
Oh,
then burn that methane in a sustainable manner, so that it's bioenergy that generates electricity, and that can be a good use. We look at using products in animal feeds or aqua feeds, um, because every step along the way, when we concentrate an omega-3 from the raw fish oil, which may be 25% omega-3 content, we concentrate that all the way up to 99%. Yeah, you're going to leave a little bit on the side, or in some cases, you might leave a lot on the side. So our entire organization is focused on, how can we find the best use, least waste out of all of these side fractions that we come up with.
that's excellent. So that's also was my next and last question about your plans in general for the next years. I think you have a lot to work on, and you're already doing it. You're already working on it to try and make your production circular, avoid any waste to get wasted, and instead pass it over to other sectors which might make good use. Do you think this is what also all other companies are doing, or you are more ahead on this? Could this be the future challenge for the omega-3 production to be even more sustainable, or you're thinking of other areas of
Yeah,
improvement?
I wish I could say we were the only ones. But it's actually really good. I've served on the board of the global organization for EPA and DHA for, I don't know, I think 6 or 7 years. And I'm not currently a board member, but I know that in that group of producers of omega-3s, there's 30 different producers of omega-3s around the world. They all have the same mindset. They all have a very strong sustainability mindset, and there's some companies that are doing better than us. There's some companies that are not quite up to the standard, but I know that from the top leadership level, that almost everyone in the omega-3 industry is concerned about sustainability, not just because it's a badge that we can put on to the product and fool the consumer. It's because it's really the lifeblood of our business. If we don't take care of sustainability, we won't be able to deliver this great nutrient to the world. And so, yeah, I would say as an industry, I'm proud to be part of the omega-3 industry because it's across. We have discussions across competitors and producers that are focused on these same topics. So yeah, it's really good.
Great. I have one last question. What about using like trimmings and bycatch from other processing of seafood, like tuna, etc.? What are the pros and cons? Are you into that, or because I know that nowadays some part of it comes from salmon, from
Yeah, I mean,
other.
I think using offal, fish offal, trimmings, and other things. These products would normally be ground up and maybe dumped into the ocean. That's a great use of a byproduct. I mean, it's yeah, any fishing company, that's not in an Olympic style fishery where you just go out and catch more fish, where you're constrained by a quota. You need to think about your byproducts, how you can get better value for them, achieve higher use.
Yeah, yeah.
From the secondary processing side, we're looking at how can we reduce waste? How can we get higher and better use for any of the fractions of omega-3 fish oil that we use? And then finally, at the brand level, at the Oceanblue level, I mean, there's not a huge amount that we can do as a small company. We have 8 people in the company. So but we do think about this a lot. We use a plastic bottle, and people may think, oh, a plastic bottle is not that sustainable. But we've looked at other solutions like glass or using a box, which looks better on the shelf, but it
Yeah,
weighs more, it costs more, and
yeah,
then what
yeah.
does the consumer do? They just throw it away. So it goes into the landfill if they don't recycle it. And so we use, lightweight recyclable bottle. Um, some things that we do, we have, Oceanblue, small company, but we do have a distributed workforce. So, we're not maintaining an office. We're not asking people to sit for an hour each way in traffic, um, burning hydrocarbons on their commute. So I mean, I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
it's
very
like it's a
important.
whole mindset. It's just like little changes, little things that you can do, um, reducing shipping weights, improving the fill of the bottles. All these things add up to just a better sustainable product for the world.
That's great, Dan. It's great to hear what your company is doing to reduce its impact. And I thank you so much for your very interesting contribution and for telling us about Oceanblue commitment to sustainability. I'm sure that your initiatives in this sense represent a very good example and food for thought for many other companies in your sector. And for now, I greet you, but I hope to have you again in our YouTube channel and other social media in the future for updates and other considerations. Thank
Yeah,
you so much.
happy to help. And if anybody's interested in the product line, you can go to oceanblueomega.com and read more about it. If you want to use a discount code to get 50% off in the United States, you can use the code D Wiley, DWILEY, and
Definitely. And that's all gonna be also on the video when edited. So that's wonderful. Yes, and we suggest everybody to make a responsible choice and purchase friendly certified products and omega-3 supplements such as Oceanblue. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you, Paolo.
Help our planet with this first step. Follow Friend of the Sea and Friend of the Earth across our social media. Like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your follow and subscription helps us spread the sustainability message to everyone. Let's build a better world together as sustainable friends.